We are back at the Fish Files. Randy again at the new scene. We just left Underwater Depot. Chris gave us this wonderful kit. Well, he didn't give it to us. It cost us $200. He gave us a discount. He also poured the gravel already into the tank. We showed you how to clean pea gravel before. This is activated clay. We showed you in a previous episode activated crushed lava rock. They're very similar. This will allow plants' roots to grow into it and also creates an environment for good bacteria to take care of some of the ammonia that drifts to the bottom of the fish tank. You do not clean this with the water siphon like you do with pea gravel. You just leave it alone. So it's also easy to maintain, but it is designed for plants, so put a few plants in when you use this stuff. A nano tank, remember, is anything from 5 gallons to a beta bowl, which is typically a quarter of a gallon to a gallon. So those constitute nano tanks. And outside of a beta, most nano tanks carry small fish like shrimp, dwarf gouramis, dwarf cichlids, rasboras, smaller barbs. Those are the kind of fish are suitable for a nano tank aquarium. And my intent on this tank is to create something for a little community nano fish tank. Okay, so what did Chris sell us? And let's set it up. He gave us a spider wood. The store cut it back. Usually it's big and bulky, so that was nice of him. You can cut it yourself, but it's very, very difficult to cut aquarium driftwood. I don't recommend it. Try and get something from the store that fits your use. And then he gave us, there's all kinds of different stones for the aquarium. There's not many stones that are not safe for an aquarium. You can go in your backyard or a stream and find some pretty stones. This though is sold commercially, and this is called Dragonstone. It has all these great little nooks and crannies and features in it, places for shrimp to crawl around and hide. So I'm gonna just set this down and gives it kind of that, I don't know, Asian garden look. There we go. I don't know if I like that way. Okay, I don't know. Producer, do you have a preference?
I think it looks beautiful.
Okay, thinks it looks great. Now let's look at the components that we need for this tank. First, I love this kind of technology, Mantis Mini Heater. This is from Aquatop. It's one of our sponsors. Aquarium Fish Sales sells a range of these as well. These heaters, they're preset at the factory at 75 degrees. All you do is plug it in. The temperature of the water goes up, it shuts off. If it goes under 75 degrees, it turns on. It has a little suction cup to stick on the side. I kind of keep it towards the middle of the tank because there's a thermostat in there somewhere and I can't see it. I'm not gonna plug it in until there's actual water. These things are designed to be submerged, so it's safer to keep them submerged. Don't plug it in unless it's submerged. This is the heart of the nano tank. This is in this case, we have the Dynamax Slim Flow SF120. I don't know what the SF120 stands for. It's usually in like liters per hour or something like that. But this is, I don't want to bore you by looking that up. But you're looking for something small with small inlets. It even comes to it with an adapter that I'm going to go ahead and put on. I'll show you in a sec why. And assemblies on these things are so small, assemblies like nothing there. It's all put together. Some filters, the typical filter for like say a 55-gallon aquarium has good 1/4-inch gap. So that's as big as some of your fish, and then they get sucked right into the aquarium. Shrimp, small shrimp, can get sucked in here and they procreate. And if you don't want the little babies getting sucked in there, this comes with a little sponge protector, so the water comes through, but none of the little fry. So I thought that was a neat little feature that's added onto the Dynamax Slim Flow. And of course the light show. You don't want anything too bulky to distract from the beauty of your little creation here. And this light is designed, I believe, for plants. It says planted, so it does have it shows a spectrum that's just perfect for growing plants. Chris gave us a few plants, but we're gonna be putting Anubias nana and some other plants in here to complete the look and then add the fish. We won't put fish in today because as you know, we're gonna be stirring up a lot of stuff. We want this thing to run for 2 days before we start adding any live plants or critters in here. It's complete. This is it. So now I'm just gonna add water. I put this landscape that I like. I don't wanna pour the whole bucket in and have everything go everywhere. So I'm gonna just do one little cup at a time. I always pre-treat the water before I add it to the aquarium. And I think it's a good habit because you may get into the habit of adding water to the fish tank and then treating it, taking the chlorine out, which is obviously too late. You're gonna be hurting fish. So just from day one, get in the habit of treating that water before you add it into the aquarium. And today I'm going to use Prime. There's AquaSafe, there's API's something, there's just all kinds of different brands out there to treat chlorine in tap water, and they're all super effective. This adds a few other things though to the water. It's a little more expensive, but I like it. And it's crazy effective. One capful is good for 50 gallons. So I'm just going to have a tiny little cap full. You can't overdose. I have 5 gallons here. I'm going to go ahead and add this in, swish it around with my hand. My hands are clean. By cleaning, no soap. I've rinsed them off. There is no soap or any residuals on my hand. Now I'm going to add the water. It takes also the speed dechlorinators work like that. So don't worry about letting it sit for a long time. And in this case, I've treated water for fish that aren't even in the tank yet. And the reason I'm not just pouring the bucket in, like I said, I don't want to disturb my little landscaping thing. So I'm just going to disturb a little corner of the tank. Yep, my plan was, my easy plan was foiled.
No.
Here's something I need to mention is driftwood, when we get it right off the shelf, usually floats until it's fully waterlogged. That's why, well, in the ocean, it'll get, cast onto the beach. So I'm gonna weigh this down artificially with rocks. So I'm just gonna lean them against there. So there goes my initial landscaping. So I've already disturbed it, but this will keep it in place and let it soak. If I still have problems with it, you can weigh it down with lead weights. Same weights that are used on plants to keep them weighted down into the aquarium. Just wrap a couple around the bottom of it and it'll stay right down there. All right, so let me finish putting water in here. The water's all safe. I already screwed up the landscape, so we're just gonna use the freaking bucket. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put the lead weights on. And these lead weights are made of a lead alloy, and it's not, the toxic stuff that you get when you lick the walls of an old house. It's used all the time in landscaping. I'm just gonna put a whole batch of these guys in. And I don't care if they're a little ugly, because I'm gonna be covering them up with plants after we get this thing, the water all settled in here. I'm just finding good places to anchor the weight. Yeah, hope that's enough. Like I said, once this clears up, we're gonna landscape it. We're gonna finish landscaping, add a few plants, and then we're gonna slowly add the fish. I'm gonna start by just adding a few rasboras, probably a school of 6 SBIs, something like that. And then I'll start adding shrimp and some other fish in there. And we'll turn it all on and show it for you once it clears up. Now all you're gonna see is ugly, muddy water. I was ready to say we're all done, but I forgot Chris from Underwater Depot gave us these cool little floating plants to get the thing started. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add them in. And since it's from an active fish tank, it'll have some of those nice active bacteria in the water that we want, along with some pretty little plants. Floating plants too, which are great for certain species that like to inhabit the top of the tank, like half-beaks. And I think I might put a couple platinum half-beaks in here once we get this thing all settled in, so I can show you some of the fish that you can put in the top zone, middle zone, and bottom zone of a high tank like this. Okay, so that concludes the build on this thing. So we're gonna have to step away for 48 hours and come back and finish this thing off. And I will see you in 48 hours. 48.